Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nyambura and this is 101 Books. This is another Maktaba Manenos and I'm going to be talking about the books I have checked out as of today. I'm recording this on the 3rd of April 2024. First of those books is Brooms by Jasmine Walls and illustrated by Teo. I think I first saw this on Instagram and it follows, if I remember correctly, some people who have like magical powers and so on. I'm probably not doing a good job of this, but I'll revisit it during my wrap up, so you'll be able to see that, see what it's about and so on. The next is The 100 Years War on Palestine by Rashid Khalid. This has been floating around on the internet since Israel invaded Gaza. Like since they said their current genocide in Gaza. And I think also CJ of CJ Reads shared that her book club in Yuma was reading this. So I think it's also interesting to, even if I'm not directly reading with the group in Yuma, just to sort of be thinking with other people on the internet. Next is On Earth as It Is on Television by Emily Jane. I saw this on Instagram, I believe, and it caught my attention. So I figured, why not? Next is Strange Flowers by Donald Ryan. I believe I saw this on Sean the Book Maniac's channel. And then it sounded really interesting and the library had a copy, so I borrowed it. And I've started reading it already. I'm maybe 60% in. And whoa. It's a very interesting look at Ireland because also I think I had this romantic idea, which makes no sense because I come from a post-colonial country, but I had this romantic idea that after the British left Ireland, everybody was equal and all of those things, which makes no sense because, hello, the Catholic Church was a significant site of power and domination in society, but also class is still a thing. I don't know how I'd forgotten this. So the way it shows up in this book is very interesting. I'll definitely be talking about that when I do my wrap up. Next is Res Ball by Byron Graves. I'm doing this as a hybrid and the audiobook is read by Jesse Nobes. This book was suggested by Kindle after I finished a book, I don't remember which one. And so I picked it up. It follows this young man who is trying to be as good at basketball as his late brother and what that means for him. He is an indigenous boy, hence the res as in reservation. And so we see how all of these things come together. I haven't started reading it, but that's the impression I've gotten. Next is Madness, Race and Insanity in a Jim Crow Asylum by Antonia Hilton. This is a book that really caught my attention. Like I'd seen Brit Lit over on Instagram post about it, but then I also had the author on NPR. I'm going to put a link to the interview down below, and some of the things she talked about was so moving. At that point, the book was already on my holds list. I hadn't realized it was on my holds list, but anyway, the interview was really interesting. And then maybe 2-3 days later, the book came in, and I was like, "Wait, I had this on my holds list," which makes sense because Bricklit is one of my, go-to bookstagrammers. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading it because I'm interested generally in like madness as a field of study, as a way of moving through the world, as a state of being, and so on. But I'm also interested in the way class, race, gender, and so on are factors that come into play in the way that insanity or mental health or wellness or whatever are regarded. And then next is The Free People's Village by Sim Khan. This is a climate fiction novel, Clific as it's called. And I first heard about it because the author, Sim Khan, is an anti-Zionist Jew, and they have spoken out a lot about how they don't support the genocide that's currently happening in Gaza, and they don't support the actions of either the Israeli government or the US government in essentially trying to annihilate, decimate, I don't know if I'm using the right words, a population because of their religion or their ethnicity or whatever. And so when I saw the book's description, but also just from listening to them, I was like, let me check out the book. Next is Once Ghosted, Twice Shy, a reluctant royals novella by Alisa Cole. This is a queer romance that I saw being suggested, I think, by a fat kid at heart who's called Linan. I think it was her, but it might have been somebody else. But this was from Instagram, and I thought to myself, I'd really like to pick this up because it's been a while since I picked up a queer romance, and yeah, one loves seeing love generally, so why not? Then next is Not the End of the World: How We Can Be the First Generation to Build a Sustainable Planet by Hannah Ritchie. I suspect I first heard about this from YouTube, like those climate type YouTubers, maybe Climate Town or someone like that. I'm not too sure. I'll try and search on YouTube, see if I can find how I found out about this book. But yeah, I'm interested in these ideas of sustainability and future studies and how we can, excuse me, make a world in which younger generations can grow and even thrive. Next is Start Here: Instructions for Becoming a Better Cook, a cookbook by Sola El Wali. And I picked up this book because Tracy over at the Stacks podcast, I'm going to put a link to where she talks about this book. And also Roxanne Gay over at The Audacity, both profiled Start Here. And every so often I borrow cookbooks. I don't cook generally, but I like reading about cooking and some of the big ideas that underpin cooking as a process. Then the last book is Ghost Work: How to Stop Silicon Valley from Building a New Global Underclass by Mary L. Gray and Siddharth Suri. Yeah, I first heard about this book yesterday actually, as I was watching Last Week Tonight, John Oliver's show. He was talking about delivery apps, right, Tom?
Yes.
Yes, and this book came up, so I thought to myself it would be interesting to read it because I don't generally use delivery apps, but uh, as a person who's used Uber and another service we have here in this part of the world called Bolt, I know that Silicon Valley has a strange relationship with labor, and that generally the person who's doing this work that's being mediated by an app is not being paid very well. So it would be interesting to read some of the ideas in the book. So yeah, that's it. The total this time is $130.67, and that's because the 100 Years War on Palestine is $2 more expensive as a Kindle book than a paperback, which is so weird. But with all the books, what I've listed are the Kindle prices because those are the prices I would get. I've talked about this before. Books can be quite expensive in this part of the world, and accounting for taxes and so on, it would probably be more expensive than the paperback anyway when it gets here. So, hence logging the Kindle price. So yeah, that's it. Please tell me down below if you've borrowed any books lately, what books you're enjoying, what ideas you're keen on exploring in your literature and so on, and I'll talk to you soon. Please like, share, subscribe. Bye.